All right, guys, so you are now experts at going from standard form into word form or either of the expanded forms, but you're also going to be expected to go from word and expanded back to standard. And the way that I view it is kind of like putting a puzzle together. And if you're like me, we always put puzzles together by doing the outside first, the border. So we always know how big the final puzzle is going to be and what its shape is going to look like. And so that's what we're going to do here as well. And the way that we're going to put the border together is we are going to look at the first piece of information that we are given in either the word form or the expanded form. And it is going to tell us exactly how big our number is going to be. And we're going to create what I call a template. It's basically the border, the foundation, and then we'll fill it in from there. This says 516,000. This word thousand tells me exactly how big my number is going to be. I know that my number is going to go to the thousands period. That's the biggest period that I have. Once I know that I have only teachers, that's as far as I'm going to go, I can fill in my 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3. And now I know exactly how big my final answer is going to be. Now it's just a matter of filling in the pieces. The first one says 516,000. If I write the number 516, it is 3 digits, and I have exactly 3 place values in the thousands period. So I'm just going to kind of fill that in all Captain Obvious, 516. And if I look at that again, it says 516,000. The next period says 279. So I'm going to write that down, 279. 3 digits. I have 3 parking spots. I am going to go ahead and fill those in. 279. And I believe I have the right answer, but I'm going to go ahead and read this to myself and make sure it's a perfect match to the word form. So it says 516,000, 516,000, perfect match. 279, 279. We did it. So we're going to go ahead and look at the next one. I'm going to grab a different color here, about red. And again, I need to know how big my final answer is going to be. And that information is going to come from my very first piece of the information. And that is the period that says 4 million. That means I know my final answer is going to go all the way to the millions, period. So I have only teachers may. And I know that each period has 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3. Now it's a matter of filling them in piece by piece. Now the first one says 4 million. If I write the number 4, it's only 1 digit. I have 3 parking spots in the millions period. So I have to pay really close attention where that 4 can go. If I put that 4 here, I know from my place value wrap, zeros fill empty spaces. If I have empty spaces in that millions period, I have to fill them with zeros. And that changes that to say 400 million. And I don't want that to be the case. So I need to make sure that I put that 4, that when I fill in zeros to fill in empty spaces, which is my rule, that it still says 4. So if I put the 4 here, you can see when I fill in my zeros into my empty parking spots, it still says 4. So now I'm ready to move to the thousands period. It says 207,000. So I know that the number 207 needs to go into the thousands period. Well, that's 3 digits. I have 3 parking spots, Captain Obvious. And my last period here says 602. 602 doesn't say thousand or million or billion, so it just goes in that ones period, and it's 3 digits. So that's a Captain Obvious placement here. And I end up with 4,207,602. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to pause the video right now. Actually, that's not true. I'm going to do one more and then you'll try one. So the first one, remember guys, tells us how big our number is going to be. So I'm going to create a template here, and I know I'm going to the millions. Only teachers may. And I'm going to create my parking spots. 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3. And now I'm just going to fill it in. The first one says 98 million. Well, that's 2 digits. I need them to go into 3 parking spots. So I need to put them in the millions period, where when I fill in the 0 into the empty spot, it still says 98. If I stretch it out like this, if I put a 0 here, it doesn't say 98 anymore. Now it says 908. So that is definitely not going to work. So I need to go back to the drawing board here and I need to figure out, okay, 98. If I put the 98 here, if I fill a 0 in here, you are still golden. And so that still says 98. The next thing that we have is 258,000. 258 needs to go into the thousands period. 3 digits, 3 spots, no big deal. All right, the last one says 12. If I look at the number 12, it's only 2 digits. I need to make sure I put it in the right spot here. So if I put the 12 here, when I fill in my 0, it still says 12. If I show you here, had I put the 12 like this, if I put a 0 in the empty spot, it doesn't say 12 anymore. It says 120. So I lied. I'm going to model one more for you. And then we're going to have you try one. This one says 7 million is my template builder. So I go all the way to the millions period. And I have 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3. The first thing I needed to say is 7 million. 1 digit, 3 parking spots. I need to make sure I put it in the right spot. So when I fill in zeros, I'm good as gold. Now this is the tricky part. I have 2 periods left, the thousands and the ones, but all I have left is the phrase 952. 952. It doesn't say 952,000. In fact, there's no thousand in this entire word form, which means I don't have any. That 952 is actually 952 in the ones period. And so since it doesn't say I have any thousands, I do need to fill that in with zeros. So I end up with 7,952. All right. I lied about trying one on your own because the next thing I want to do is I want to show you exactly how the same thing works with expanded form, turning it into standard form. This very first piece of the puzzle tells you exactly how big your final answer is going to be because it's the biggest piece. If you look, 700,000 has 6 digits. So I'm going to go ahead and build this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to put my comma in where it belongs. 1, 2, 3, comma. This tells me right here that I have a 7 in the 100,000s place because that's where the 7 is there. So I'm going to put a 7 in the 100,000s place in my answer. This 6 is in the 10,000s place. So I need to make sure that I put a 6 in the 10,000s place in my answer. This 5 is in the thousands place. So I need to make sure I put a 5 in my thousands place in my answer. Again, the 3 is in the hundreds place. The 2 is in the tens place. And the 1 is in the ones place. And when I put it into standard form, I end up with 765,321. We are expecting you to build these templates. So again, you build it from the biggest piece, which is the first piece. The number 5 million has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 digits. So I'm going to build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And starting here in the ones, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. And now I'm just putting the pieces in. This says there's a 5 in the millions place. So I'm going to put a 5 in the millions place here. If it helps to build your, label your periods, great. But don't be fooled. You have to be a thinker. This 7 is worth 7,000. It's in the thousands place, not the 100,000s place, which is the next open spot. It's in the 1,000s place. So it's going to go here. This 4 is worth 400, so it's a 4 in the hundreds place. This 2 is in the tens place, and this 9 is in the ones place. And you'll notice we have some empty spaces. We know the rule, zeros fill empty spaces. So we end up with 5,007,429. All right, we're gonna do one more of old school expanded form. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. Put my comma in the right place, starting at the ones place. We have a 9 in the 10,000s place. We have a 5 in the hundreds place. We have an 8 in the tens place and a 3 in the ones place. We cannot leave parking spots open. Zeros fill empty spaces. Okay. Now, the same rule applies if you're going from new school expanded form. The first package tells you exactly how big your final number is going to be. we know that the biggest place value we have is that we're going to put a 3 in the thousands place. So I'm going to build my template all the way out to the thousands period, thousands place, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4 digits. Put in my comma. Now I'm basically just going to do what it tells me. It says put a 3 in the thousands place. Boom. Put a 6 in the hundreds place. Boom. Put a 7 in the tens place. Boom. It doesn't tell me to put anything in the ones place, so zeros fill empty spaces. I'm going to model one more here. This is going to tell me how big my final answer is going to be by looking here at the place value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to go all the way to the millions period, which is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And starting here in the ones, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3. You can see it goes to the millions period. This says here, guys, we're going to put an 8 in the millions place. Boom. We're going to put a 9 in the 10,000s place. Again, if you need to label, you can do that. 10,000s is the middle one, so that's going to go there. We're going to put a 6 in the thousands place. We're going to put a 2 in the hundreds place, and we're going to put a 4 in the tens place. And the final thing I need to do is it didn't mention the 100,000s place. It didn't mention the ones place. So zeros fill empty spaces. All right. So you guys are going to try some of these to test your knowledge. And what you're going to do is I will have a worksheet for you, and it'll simply give one example of each of these, and you're going to check in each question. And if you manage to understand this, then you are ready to play one of my favorite games in math, which is, actually, I lied. Okay, let me think. Yes, I'm actually going to have you go jump right to tick tack. No, I'm not. I'm going to give you the test paper. It'll have one of each so we can make sure you understand it. Then you'll be ready to play one of my favorite games, and that is tic tac toe. So there will be a half sheet of paper that you will be given, and you will show off your skills with that. I'm trying to turn this off, and clearly I don't know what I'm doing. How do I get this here? Here we go. Sorry the video was so long. It had a lot of important information.